Members of the tech community recently had the chance to get the COVID-19 vaccine here on campus, but an announcement earlier this week may be leaving many faculty, staff, and students searching for other options for the shot. Coming up, we'll have the latest details and let you know where you can find the vaccine here in town.
The McKinsey Marquette Alumni Center was packed this week as a local business group held a luncheon to recognize one of the South Plains area's most important industries. Find out how a former Red Raider made a trip back from Washington, D.C. to headline the annual event.
And the Student Activities Board is keeping busy as the spring semester nears its end. We'll let you know how SAB is providing opportunities for students to give back to the local community and offering some take-home fun for anyone with a student ID.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Thursday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Will Lanigan.
And I'm Danielle Salazar.
Students, faculty, and staff who were hoping to get the COVID-19 vaccine here on campus today are now having to find alternative options to get the shot. On Monday, United Supermarkets sent out a press release stating that the remaining 2 on-campus vaccine clinics had been canceled. The clinics had originally been scheduled to continue today and next Thursday at the United Supermarkets Arena, but those dates were placed on the calendar before use of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine was put on pause. United had hoped to provide the single-dose J&J vaccine so that vaccine recipients would not need to make arrangements to get a second shot. But last week, the clinic substituted the 2-dose Moderna vaccine in place of single-shot option, and they also scheduled an additional set of clinics to be held during the last week of the semester, which happens to fall during finals. If the remaining 2 clinics had been held at the USA, attendees would have had to get a second dose of the vaccine within the last 2 weeks of May, after the spring semester had ended. If you are still wanting to get your first dose of the vaccine before the semester ends, there are several options here in Lubbock. The city's public clinic will continue at the Civic Center until May 1st, and appointments are still available for today and Saturday, as well as next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. You can also get the vaccine at almost any pharmacy here in town, including CVS, Walgreens, H-E-B, Walmart, and United Supermarkets, which includes the Market Street and Amigos stores. Regardless of where you go, the vaccine should be free and available for anyone 16 and older.
Even though the campus vaccine clinics have been canceled, dozens of members of the campus community stopped by the United Supermarkets Arena to get a shot. MCTV's Stuart Woolley also made a short trip over to the west side of campus to get a closer look at the process.
I'm here today at the vaccine clinic for COVID-19. They have set up shop at the United Supermarkets Arena on campus at the southeast entrance.
The new COVID-19 vaccine has finally touched down in Lubbock. Available every Thursday, students as well as Lubbock locals can come and get their vaccine. Crockett Tewell, one of the people in charge of the clinic, stresses why he believes people should get the vaccine.
Just the importance of getting the vaccine. We all want to get back to normal as fast as possible, and that means that everybody needs to do it. So everybody should step up, and I hope that they do, get protected, and so we can go back to life the way it was.
Due to the hold on the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, the clinic has switched to the 2-shot Moderna vaccine. Yet despite that, many people have still come to get their vaccine.
Well, my whole family's gotten it, and I didn't want to be that one person that didn't get it. And a lot of my friends have gotten it, and I wanted to be part of that and say that I got the vaccine.
I'm about to graduate with a degree so I can educate teaching and music, and it's so important to be able to work, with people in person. Just figured it was really important to be able to do.
Students who come to get their vaccine are also treated with a little gift once they are finished with their vaccinations.
So these cards and stickers are for students at Texas Tech who present their Raider ID. You can get a $10 voucher that can be used on any hospitality service provided by Texas Tech University.
As more and more come to get their vaccines, the closer to normal we get. If you want to schedule a vaccination, visit unitedsupermarkets.com. This is Stuart Woolley with MCTV.
If you did show up for last week's on-campus COVID-19 clinic, you can also get the second dose of the vaccine during the last week of the spring semester. 3 additional clinics will be held on Monday, May 10th, Wednesday, May 12th, and Thursday, May 13th. It's important to keep in mind that some people have had mild reactions to the second dose of the vaccine that can be similar to flu symptoms. The reaction can last as long as 24 to 48 hours. If you have finals or are planning to walk in the graduation ceremonies at the end of the week, you might want to keep that in mind when deciding on which clinic to attend. For more information on the COVID-19 vaccine, visit ttu.edu/commitment and click on vaccine.
The Lubbock Chamber of Commerce recently took time to recognize an important segment of the local economy during a special on-campus event. On Tuesday, the Chamber held their Salute to Agriculture luncheon at the McKenzie Marquette Alumni Center. The event featured a meal and a presentation by Texas Tech alumnus Brandon Lipps. Lipps is the former Undersecretary for the U.S. Food, Nutrition, and Consumer Services. He also served as Administrator of the U.S. Food and Nutrition Service. During the presentation, Lipps talked about agriculture and its importance to the U.S. and world economy. He also addressed the recent shortages in goods and supplies during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic and how he and his office navigated the situation. Tuesday's luncheon was one of the first events held at the McKenzie Marquette Alumni Center that allowed for pre-COVID capacity. It was also the first time members of the Chamber of Commerce met in person without coronavirus restrictions since last year.
Texas Tech is well known in the Lubbock community on many levels, including the campus community's giving spirit. And between now and the end of April, you have the chance to volunteer and help out some local organizations. On Monday, the Student Activities Board set up an information booth in the Sub-Red Raider Plaza to tell students about this year's Tech to Town event. Tech to Town is an annual set of volunteer opportunities open to all students, but this year there are both in-person and virtual options for anyone wanting to help the local community.
It started on April 19th and then it's going to last till April 30th, and it is an event to give back to the Lubbock community. This year we have a variety of in-person, virtual, and donation-based events. So for in-person, we're volunteering at places such as the Food Bank and the Lubbock Impact Center. And then for virtual, we're making thank you cards to UMC. We're also doing hello cards to the participants at Meals on Wheels. And then we're doing donation events, or donations for various Lubbock charities. Tech to Town's an important event just to show the Lubbock community that we care about them, and we always want them to be supporting Texas Tech, and we want to support them as well. It's just a great way to give back to the town at the end of the year and thank you for all that they did during our school year.
Students stopping by Monday's info session had a chance to pick up this year's official Tech to Town t-shirt, and they also had a chance to win a special prize package by following SAB on social media. If you would like more info on this year's volunteer opportunities, visit sab.ttu.edu and click on Tech to Town.
Freezing temperatures made a return to the Lubbock area this week, making for some very chilly mornings as students made their way to morning classes. In fact, yesterday morning's low of 28 degrees tied the original record for the day, which was set back in 1918. Luckily, we already started out warmer this morning, but will the warming trend continue through the weekend? Let's take a look at the forecast. The MCTV Tower Cam has been showing cloudy skies throughout the day. Even with the clouds, temperatures have climbed into the mid-50s, and we may see some sunshine and a high in the 60s before sunset. Overnight, we should see a slight cool down, but nothing close to the freezing mark. Tomorrow, we should have a return of the sun and a big jump in temperatures. Highs tomorrow are forecast to reach near 80 degrees. Unfortunately, the increase in temperatures comes with the trade-off, the wind. Wind speeds will increase to around 20 to 30 miles an hour in the late afternoon, with the possibility of 40-mile-per-hour gusts throughout the evening. But once we make it through Friday, Saturday should be close to perfect with sunny skies, light winds, and a high near 80 degrees. Saturday night should also be mild, making for a great day to get outside and enjoy the spring weather. Unfortunately, Saturday looks to be the only day of escape from the wind this weekend, with speeds returning to 20 to 30 miles an hour on Sunday. On top of that, we could also reach the 90-degree mark for the first time this year. Looking ahead, the wind and warmer temperatures should stick around as we kick off the last full week of classes.
Speaking of weather, the Texas Tech baseball team had planned to make a short trip north for an unusual mid-season matchup, but Mother Nature put a kink in the Red Raiders' plans. Tech was scheduled to take on Oklahoma on Tuesday in an exhibition game at Hodgetown Ballpark in Amarillo, but earlier in the day the game was canceled, as forecasts predicted that temperatures would fall into the 40s that night, with winds even making it cooler. That game has now been rescheduled for Tuesday, May 4th at 6 p.m. The matchup will still be the same, and it won't count towards the Red Raiders or Sooners conference records. It will also give both teams a first look at their competition before the official Big 12 series later in the month. The game is still expected to be televised, but there's no word on where it will be broadcast. With Tuesday's game off the schedule, the Red Raiders will have had a full week to prepare for their next conference series. Tech will welcome the Baylor Bears to town for their 3-game matchup at Dan Law Field at Rip Griffin Park. The Bears come to town with a losing record in conference, and Tech is hoping to capitalize on that with a series sweep. The wins could help the Red Raiders move up in the Big 12 standings, as both Texas and TCU are currently tied for their first place at 10-2. Tech versus Baylor starts on Friday at 6:30 p.m., followed by a 2 p.m. first pitch on Saturday, and a 2 p.m. start on Sunday. All 3 games will be available on Big 12 Now on ESPN+.
Tech softball has also had the week off to prepare for its next conference showdown, which could be the toughest series of the year. The Red Raiders will spend their weekend in Norman, Oklahoma, as they face the number 1 ranked Oklahoma Sooners. OU came into this week with a perfect record, but Georgia finally ended the team's 40-game winning streak in a non-conference matchup on Tuesday. On the other hand, the Red Raiders are heading into this weekend's matchup coming off their first conference series win of the year against Kansas. Tech is hoping they can take that momentum and hand the Sooners another loss in front of their home crowd this weekend. First pitch for Friday's matchup is scheduled for 6 p.m., with the action continuing at 2 p.m. on Saturday and noon on Sunday. The games are not scheduled to be televised, but you can keep up with live stats and the latest score by visiting texastech.com.
Earlier in the newscast, we mentioned that the Students Activities Board is offering volunteer opportunities for students through this year's Tech to Town. But the group is also continuing to provide fun and free activities for students both in person and virtually through the remainder of the semester. Earlier this afternoon, SAB handed out string art kits in the Sub North Plaza. Members of SAB were available from 1 to 3 p.m. to give students the kits, which included wood, nails, a hammer, string, and a pattern featuring the shape of Texas. From there, students could take the kits home and use the included instruction to form their own unique creation.
With the string art, so you have the little box and you hammer the nails down in the shape you want and just wind the strings around it and you create your own little piece of art. Getting students out here, especially right now, it's fun to get out and kind of be involved again because it's been a long time for a lot of students. So nice to get back out here and kind of get everybody together.
The string art kits were just one of the several free items SAB has given away during the spring semester. SAB gave students a chance to create their own stuffed animal earlier this month, stuff a bag with self-care items back in March, and students could even make their own personalized motivational mug near the beginning of the spring. SAB's next big event is Arbor Day, which is happening next Friday along with some traditional activities. SAB will also be hosting a Make Your Own Jellyfish Air Planet event at 1:30 p.m. in Memorial Circle. As with all of other SAB's activities, next week's event is free with a student ID.
So Danielle, have you had a chance to stop by any of SAB's events this semester?
Yes, I did. I enjoyed the Stuff a Critter. What about you?
Oh, well, I haven't been able to make any of them, but maybe I'll make the one next week. That's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you next week.